Yeah, very good afternoon to you, Mark. Well, the reality is this charity, this organisation are supporting people on the very lowest incomes, people who are already in real financial difficulty. And one of the really key things they've said is that working families are often coming up to say, I'm in debt, I need help, I need support. Well, keenly listening to the claims that the Chancellors just made is the Managing Director, Matt Dronfield, who joins me now. What for you are the key lines listening to that which might help people who are really struggling financially?
Well, there's something there around people that rent their homes, and good news around people that rent their homes from social housing associations and the cap on that. Unfortunately, though, we're in London today. We know in London nearly half of people rent their homes privately, so that cap's not going to impact them at all. Our service, Debt-Free Advice, helps 24,000 people a year. Now, housing costs are the biggest issue people come to us with. And with the evictions taking place just 8 weeks after you get that notice, we're really concerned that this is still not going to help them enough.
What you are really dealing with, the front line of people who are not managing with the rising cost of living. What are the key components in people's daily lives, whether that's their energy bills or their rent, that are just becoming unaffordable?
It's all those things. We're in a real pickle here, right? We've seen people's housing go up, we've seen their energy goes up, we see the entire cost of living. Your food shop has dramatically increased over that period of time. People that come into our service, the biggest things is all around the housing costs. It is your rent, it is your mortgage, and it is your utility bills. One of the things that has been concerning us for the last few months is that we haven't yet seen people come to us with an increase in their gas and electric bills, as you might expect. But for us, our customers come to us from housing associations or local authority housing, which means they're often on prepayment meters. So what we're concerned about is that they might be choosing to self-disconnect. What we have seen is a massive increase of the number of people coming to us with water utility bills as debts, because you can't be on a prepayment meter for that. And as we go into the colder months, we're concerned about the number of people that aren't going to be able to keep their families warm this winter.
What the Chancellor will say is, look, we're going to rise benefits in line with inflation. And earlier when I was here, I was speaking to one of your clients who's on a form of disability payment from the government. And they'll say, look, we're going to do means-tested benefits payments. That should be good news.
It's not going to be enough. Over the last few months, we've had our busiest time ever for debt-free advice. Just last Tuesday, we saw 411 inquiries come into our service in one day. Now, typically, for the size of the team that we've got, we'd expect to see that over a period of a month. Now, whilst there were some snippets of good news in today's announcement, I don't think that's going to be enough to slow the dramatic increase in people needing to access our service.
The reality is, the Chancellor will say, look, we're in a recession. There just isn't the money to go around. Are there other alternatives of where they could cut costs elsewhere if you're saying there is critical need right here?
I think we need to try harder. When there's families that can't feed their families during this winter, they can't heat their homes, we're going to see an increased number of deaths over winter, and that is preventable. As I said, the number of inquiries come to our service and we can signpost them to food banks. But is that the country that we want to live in? We need to help people, we need to help people now. Today, we're changing our service from Debt-Free London to Debt-Free Advice, because we've seen not only the increase in number of people coming to us for our services here, but across the country. And we also notice, as you mentioned, the changing client profile that's coming to us. So as you might expect, people turning to us where they're out of work and looking for employment, that's not the case at all. Over the last 12 months, the number of working families, people working as teachers, doctors, nurses, they're turning to our service desperate need for our help, because what they're earning is just not enough to survive, which is why we're also expanding the opening hours of our service from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week, so you can fit in the advice that you need around your really busy life already.
And what you're saying is there shouldn't be such desperate need for this type of advice. Matt, thank you very much for speaking to us. So some of the things announced by the Chancellor, a different capping in energy bills, means-tested benefits. Is that going to be enough to help the most vulnerable? Here, it's a wait and see, but probably not enough.
Rosie, thank you very much indeed. And let's bring you more reaction in terms of the markets, where the pound has fallen against the US dollar. Concerns maybe about this recession that the OBR has identified. So